think I did enjoy playing Overwatch, like I said, but I think when you play like other positions, it's more fun. Like you feel like you have more impact on the game. So so I definitely don't shit talk the game. I like playing it. It's something that I think if Overwatch League like does well, like in the future, dude, I'd like to come back and potentially like, you know, just study up and be a coach for some team, or come back, and I don't mind. I've seen myself maybe potentially being a shoutcaster or something like that. I'd potentially like doing that. So it's something, because I feel like after the amount of time I'm going to spend away playing Quake, that it's very unlikely, or like the amount of time I'd actually realistically have to put in to get to that level again, to get on a team. It would take so long that I would rather assert my skills elsewhere, you know? Like either like helping with coaching or casting or something like that. That's something I think I'd like to do. So,
because as you say, like it is a sacrifice to be a Lucio player, because like first of all the ones that I know who are good competitive Lucio players literally have told me privately, like, I sort of hate my job because anytime I lose, it's like, well, I had no fun at all, was it? My whole point was I get to have fun if we win, you know, sort of, because then I think, right, I did the right things. And even worse, even the reason why you can only win to win if you're a Lucio player is because if you win, then everyone goes, well, you did nothing. It was the rest of your team who did it all right. It gets the least. Like you mentioned wins. I can't even believe how far the public perception is of what he's like as a player from the guy in the server, right?
Yeah, how quickly they forget he helped them win the first Gamescom as Flex. Like there was some crazy fight that like people remember. I think it was them versus Envious, and he like 1v2'd or 1v3'd on the point with like OT ticking down, and they end up winning because of that. Like he almost dies, but he pulls it through for their team. This guy that's won tournaments over and over and over again, but because their team, for the better of the team and who they needed to pick up and flexibility and stuff, like he had no problem doing that because he's actually an unselfish person. Like when you talk, I love Wins personally. He's an awesome guy. But when you talk to him, and he'll even admit it, he comes across arrogant sometimes. Oh yeah, but in reality, as far as like team stuff goes, he's like one of the most unselfish people I've ever played with. Like he gets the fact that he will do whatever is necessary for the betterment of the team, whether that is that he's the carry role, or if like somebody needs to fill it and he's the best suited for helping out in more of a supportive action, like he'll do that. And it's just sad that to see, like, because of how successful they were even after when they switched, you know, to him doing that from being Flex to Lucio, that that the public forgot that like this guy has been playing games for years and he's great. So, and that's the same. I hope people don't forget that about Harry Hook either, if he's stuck on Lucio forever. That guy is phenomenal.
Okay, so along these lines though, my question was going to be, right, to everyone else, the fact that Team Liquid did well right at the very end, and then obviously a bunch of you went and played Quake, and the team didn't get the Overwatch League spot, etc. People from the outside are going to think that everyone in the team would say, no, I wish, you know, things had been different circumstances, we would have continued on, kept getting better, hopefully going to Overwatch League. But my question for you is this: if you would have had to only play Lucio, I mean, listen, that might not be the only hero you could play for the rest of your career, but, you know, at the moment you would have to. Would that have been okay for you to just be an Overwatch League player but only be a Lucio player? Could you have handled it?
I would have need to find something to like to vent in a way. Not necessarily, you know, like verbally, but to do so in the sense of play something where I feel like I'm using my skills to my fullest, like in my downtime or something like that. Even if it's like not even games, some type of other sport or something. Like I'd have to set time aside for myself to do that, I think, is what I would do. But I obviously showed I was willing to do it, so and like I said, when you're winning and you're improving and you see that and you're doing well, it feels great. It's just, it's not, like you said, it's not, you don't always get to impact the game like you'd like to, so.
How much of Quake Champions coming along was the reason why? I mean, it was actually two things combined. It was Quake Champions, and then obviously now, AZK also got unbanned. There was all these, like, all the old games were drawing everyone back. Like, how much of that is why you didn't just continue as a team? Because I'm almost certain, knowing Steve, he could have got an Overwatch League spot, I'm pretty sure.
Well, people don't know this, but I actually made my decision to leave the team to pursue Quake right before Contenders. But I told, and there were like going to be qualifiers for QuakeCon obviously and stuff like that, but I told the team, I was like, it's not very good of me to just drop out like right when this big thing is coming up and I still thought that Liquid was going to be in the league and things like that. So I stayed in throughout the whole tournament, and like that is literally the last competitive Overwatch I played. Like, was that finals match? I've been done since then. And as far as I knew, when I was making my decision, I was like, okay, this will give them ample time to find a replacement. They've got a new good head coach. The roster is going in a good state. They'll just need to find another like support and shot caller and leader type thing. And because the whole thing was, Dehang was supposed to play with me just at QuakeCon. That was it. He was going to just play at QuakeCon. Same with Wins and ID. Well, ID was a different situation, but and then they were going back to Overwatch. But then all of a sudden, like, it was like 2 weeks later after I made the decision, you know, we find out that Liquid's not going to be in the league. And so that comes out. And then 2 days later, Counter-Strike lifts the ban on AZK. It's just all these crazy things like lined up in a row. It looks like we all knew beforehand, but nobody did. Like, yeah, that's just how it's happened. So, like, for now, you know, Dehang is like committed to playing Quake with me. It's like right now it's him, Waz, and myself are like the solid core for our team, and we'll be playing as many tournaments as we can. So, but yeah, it's crazy how it's worked out.
Okay, obviously when we talk about Quake champions, like this is a tough part to have in this sort of interview because like anything we talk about now, it's, you know, the game hasn't even been out for like a full year yet, so all of this stuff can change very rapidly. But when you described it there, like you're looking forward to playing with all these guys. I noticed Dehang said the same thing. He implied that it's actually Sacrifice he wants to play. Like, it's like Duel, yeah, he's playing it on the side, you know. How committed is Rafa to Duel? Like, is it important to you if the game becomes big and has a long lifespan? You want to be a Duel star again?
I think Duel will always be important to me, but I've been asked this a lot on my stream by people, like, do I like Quake Live Duel over the current Duel or whatever? And it's not that I hate the current Duel format. I don't. Like, for me, Quake Live will always be like a 10 out of 10, and that's probably bias from, you know, playing it for so long. It just feels...
You win it all the time, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding, right? But I feel like just the way that this current format is set up, it is kind of enjoyable, but it feels more random, and it feels like it's a little too constricting with the fact that you have the 3 lives and people want to innately play more defensively because you don't have as much to back you up with. You know, you can't really make a big insane comeback. And just the fact that so far, like, the Duel meta, it changes based off of a lot of balance changes.
Yes.
So if that happens like right before a tournament, that can really throw off like somebody who looked like they were really going to win a tournament. Now they might not because, you know, there's like 2 champions out of like the 4 that they were using that really aren't that good now, you know, or whatever. It could, you know, shift and sway based off of that. But I still enjoy it. Like, it's still like a 7 or 8 out of 10 for me. So it's not as though like I absolutely loathe Duel or whatever. It's just not as enjoyable. Whereas Sacrifice so far from a playing perspective has been great. I've loved playing it. I know it's really difficult to spectate, but it's been a lot of fun for me to play. I actually really like the champions. I feel like the champions thing that they're trying to bring to Quake fits very well in the team mode aspect. And I've had a lot of fun playing it. But I know, like, as far as the future goes, they've talked about after this next event, DreamHack Winter, that they're going to experiment with different rule sets for Duel. You know, based like time limit or changing round limits, champ limits, whatever. So we'll see what happens, like, you know, and what ends up being the best, you know, fit or whatever. And I wouldn't say, like, because my results so far have been top 8 for QuakeCon, top 8 at Denver. That's, you know, I don't like it because the Duel format doesn't fit me or whatever. I haven't played. That has nothing to do with it. Like, the games that I've lost, like, I felt at QuakeCon, I was in shape to make top 3, possibly even the final. Just in that match that I played, I got clutched out and Dehang played really, really well. And same thing happened at Denver. I felt I played very, very well. I was making good decisions. I made a couple small mistakes, but overall, like, it's not like I'm far behind and I can't beat these guys. I beat Razy in group stage and then he wins the tournament. So it shows that, like, it's not like I'm falling behind people. It's just I've, you know, just had a couple tough matches and I've lost them, and I can't let that get to me and just gotta keep pushing forward and, you know, just try to get my game to be more consistent again. That's all.
Have